Hey guys, welcome to another episode of The Petite Baker. Today I wanted to talk about another one of my favorite things, which is a particular author. So books today. This is a not so super famous comedic author. He has a couple of bestsellers out there, but I don't know if he's all that well known. But he writes some of my favorite literature, and so I want to talk about probably my favorite book by him, and some close runners-up, and the book that I am currently reading that is by him. So we're going to start with Christopher Moore. So, like I said, he's a comedic writer, and what makes his writing style so hilarious to me is the dialogue. So he's really good at writing like sarcastic quips, and usually like the character development is really solid, and you start to really love each character for who they are, and you get attached to them really easily. And along with that, when they make some pretty funny jokes, you can't help but laugh out loud like a crazy person. So this particular book, which is Fool, is about a court jester back in medieval times. So there's castles involved, and basically the way that I usually describe it is it's almost like taking The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe and Macbeth by Shakespeare and kind of almost twisting them together and then making them into a comedy instead of tragedy. And sounds very strange, but trust me, it's solid gold. And basically, the court jester, his name is, oh, and I'm totally blanking out. Oh my gosh. Pocket, sorry. His name is Pocket, and he carries around like one of those little sticks with the little dummy on the end, and it's an exact replica of himself. And he has a sidekick who is super endearing and hilarious. He's like this majorly big obese guy, and he is mentally handicapped, and they call him Drool because he does. But basically, it's about Pocket and kind of his life in the castle, and there is murder involved, and there's mystery, and there's intrigue, and there's also some really awesome romance. So that is my top choice for Christopher Moore. I highly recommend to read that one first, and then if you like it, one of the first books that I ever read by him that got me hooked is called A Dirty Job. And basically the premise is like this super yuppie guy who is total like salesman, very blah, just doesn't really have a personality for himself. He becomes the Grim Reaper, and not by choice. So it's almost like Santa Claus with Tim Allen in it, where he just all of a sudden up and has to become Santa Claus. And except this is a little bit more dark and a lot more funny. And he has a little baby girl, and he's a single dad, and the little girl is the most adorable character in all the books. She's so cute and so precious, and every character in that book is just outrageously hysterical. I had tears running down my cheeks every time I read it because it was so funny. And then another one that I'm reading currently, so I can't really give you a full review on it just yet, I can just tell you what I think of it so far, is his newest book called Sacre Bleu. And I would show it to you guys, but I'm actually reading it on audiobook, which is really interesting. But yeah, it's solid gold, and it's taking place during the post-impressionist era, and so it intertwines all this awesome art history reference and even the definitions of different things, chiaroscuro, and he brings in all of these awesome famous painters that, I mean, I know because I majored in art history, so I understand the references, but he explains them really well, and he brings them in and he creates characters out of them. And the basic premise of the entire book is he takes Van Gogh, who historically he committed suicide. He shot himself in the chest in a field, And he takes that and he twisted it, and he actually made it a murder. And so instead of him getting shot by himself in a field, somebody shot him. And so now all these other artists that were doing painting with him during this era, and we actually have evidences of them writing letters to each other and stuff. Now he's created them as friends of Van Gogh in the story, and he's made it so that they are also fictional characters with this awesome layering to it. And I'm probably a third of the way through the book, and I can't put it down. It's probably one of the best books I've ever read, and I highly recommend it already. So I'll probably do another quick review just on that one when I finish it, just to let you know if the ending is awesome and solid. But I can, without a doubt, guarantee that this book is amazing. So please, please give it a try. I think you'll like it. And also, just to throw them out there, these are 2 more books written by him. This one's super good, but for anybody that has faith, because if you notice, it's called Lamb, and it is the gospel according to Biff, Christ's childhood pal. So it's really outrageously hilarious, but if you do have a Christian background, which I do, it's slightly offensive because it is actually pretty sacrilegious. So just to throw that out there for you guys. And then this one is Fluke, and it's about whale watchers, and it's really wacky. And it's probably one of his more bizarre books, so I would not start off with this one, but if you get addicted like me, it's a pretty good one. So, and that concludes my little book review for this evening. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions for me, or even book suggestions, because I am totally getting into reading again, go ahead and leave them in the comment section, and I will see you guys the next time I do a video.